All right. Um, how's everybody doing? It is Friday night. It's 11 o'clock, pretty much like on the dot. Um, I had a good time doing some broadcasting earlier, and I like doing stuff like this. But I played part of The Robber and the Thief. I'm just used to calling it TRAT, TRATT. Um, The Robber and the Thief, I played about 20 minutes of that, and that kind of got me a little bit geeked to do, a little bit more something. And I mentioned about the survival guide, and I mentioned how I think I told my mom that I read it. I was sitting here reading it. I read kind of fast. I read it like in 45 minutes or so. And I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing, but it wouldn't be bad to go through the whole thing, and just read it out because it's a short story, and I like it. I like the story. I also like I've got the four stories. I got the Robber and the Thief. That's free. The Underwoods isn't finished being written, but that's the next one to come. Then there's the Keep Christerian. That's number three. And then the fourth one is It Came and Went, Wynte, which is a continent in Unia. And those are the four core Unia tales. Now, I've got a ton of other Unia tales, but this is not one. I guess it could be. I don't know. It could be set in like a future. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read this one. It's called The Survival Guide by Sean Battle. Day 32. I finally secured a safe location. It's locked down tight, and I can finally relax enough to get my thoughts together. I have no idea what has happened. I woke up just like any other day, but that day, I don't know, something changed. It's pretty obvious looking back, just the little things. No newspapers were thrown, nowhere near the normal number of cars. It's like some form of mass migration took place at night and no one told us. Houses are right out. Don't even think of holding up in a normal house. If they haven't gotten to you yet, they will. I halfway expected to be fighting an unending wave of the living dead. I never dreamed that my worst fear in the world would be my fellow man set free from his restraints as law-abiding citizens. And it didn't take long either. It's as if they were waiting for this chance. They looked at the same situation I saw, and instead of saying, "What happened? How did this happen?" they simply looked at each other and said, unanimously, "Fuck yeah." They've taken all the main supplies, the major stores and warehouses. They belong to the gangs, don't even try. They only give out rations to those who are as crazy as they are, or when you don't want to know what you have to do to get their help. I'll summarize as quickly as possible. You may not have that much time. Don't move at night. They are out at night, always. They raid the neighborhoods at night. They control batteries and flashlights and oil and everything they can get that they know we need. They go out in hunting parties and return with survivors. Well, at least the female survivors they find. If you are heavily armed, you might survive, but I mean heavily armed. These men, these are the types of people who were packing weapons before this incident. Now they have free range of gun stores, pawn shops, and every major retail store you can imagine. In some ways, I wish this was some form of zombie apocalypse. At least zombies don't think or take up resources. They only want your brains, and if you die, all you lose is your humanity. You just become one of them, like a big club that nobody wants to join until they're in. And then once they become a member, they're trying to recruit everyone else. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Never go alone if you can help it. You've got to be smart. These guys are resourceful. There's a difference. These guys can make a bomb out of anything. That's not smart, that's resourceful. You've got to outthink them, man. Where would they never go? The library? A bookstore? A bank? You're thinking, really? A bank? Isn't that the first place they would go? And you're right. It would be. And once they removed anything of value, they'll never go back, right? We're 1 month and counting. The banks are empty and easy to fortify, trust me. If you can get the proper solar paneling to the roof, you will be set. At least for sleeping arrangements. I've crudely made a way to recharge my MP3 player, my computer, my flashlights. I can also recharge car batteries, but this takes much longer and they drain fairly quickly. But my whole operation is silent and draws no attention. But to ease your mind, these guys make their campgrounds at the stores, where they have easy access to their spoils, where they can keep guard on their stockpiles. Greedy assholes. You'd think that being free would be enough, but they want to be the new government, at least in this town. I'm working on getting my supplies together enough to get out of here and try a smaller town, somewhere with some morals and values. I almost got everything. I've got a car in the basement of the Grand National Bank that's stockpiled with equipment. I stole a trailer from the You Move It lot. Yeah, picture that, a dirty, grimy guy pulling a trailer through the streets. I think that's the only way I survived. They had to have seen me. It was broad daylight, and I had to pass right by one of their storehouses. They probably thought I was shitbag crazy and said, fuck it, he ain't worth bothering. I rub myself down in oil, dirt, and grease and put on shabby clothes when I go out. I want to look as harmless as possible. The more they think he's no threat and it would just be a waste of time to harass this crazy fool, the better. You've got to outthink them. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. I'll be the hermit crab shedding this shell never to return. I will not let you know where I'm going, but I will say that if the survivors there are even half as friendly as I remember when I used to visit for summer vacation, the rest of my days will no longer be spent cowering in fear during the night and dodging from shadowy cover to shadowy cover during the day. First class, baby. I try not to get too hopeful, but I must hold on to something. As I was saying, the car's been reinforced and fully equipped. My You Move It trailer is full of gasoline and spare tires. The cab of my SUV is full of snacks and goodies, as well as weapons, high-powered rifles, submachine guns, pistols, usual necessary apocalyptic firepower. It should be a 3-day trip from here to there. Yeah, I'm not telling you where I'm going. Oops. At any rate, minus plowing through inevitable roadblocks and stop and repair the damage, I should have more than enough supplies and gas to make it anywhere. And anywhere is better than here. Lost Angels. Just a funny thought. Anyways, I don't even know why I'm writing this. I haven't seen any survivors in days. It's not like anyone is going to read this. And even if you did, it's not like it would help you, would it? I mean, you survived this far, so my survival manual would be more like a helpful hint. Hey, here's a helpful hint for you. Library. Full of tons of books on any and every subject. Medical books. I left quite a few. Army and survival tactics. Sadly, I've taken most of these from the Main Street branch. Maps of everything. And plans and schematics to build whatever you may need, hint, hint, including silent generators and bullets and firearms and anything else your sick mind may think to invent, like Molotovs and solar panel cars and, well, anything you might need to survive. I'm guessing if you're going to go all out, you may be thinking about taking back the city. Good luck. I wish you well in that. I had a similar plan. I was gathering survivors and supplies, but eventually the group just rested on its safe house and figured that the new tribal gangs would leave them alone. Wrong. People are stupid and they talk too much to the wrong people. I'll leave it like this. I left when I heard the car engines pulling up because no one has gas anymore. At least no one you want to run into. think that fire will be burned into my memory forever, but I warned them, I told them not to talk. Another thing you must figure out, and you need to figure it out now, is what are you? A leader or a follower? If you are a leader, what is your plan? If you don't have one, guess what? You're a follower. Now sit down and shut up. If you have a plan, is it a good one? Like, have you factored in food, water, transport, shelter, defense, offense, and a plan B and C and D? If not, guess what? That's right. Sit down and shut up. If you are a leader, take this advice. If you lead yourself, you're safest. You can follow your plan and adapt your plan with no hindrance, no problems, no worries, but then are you truly a leader or just a person out in front? If you do have followers, watch for signs of dissension. You'll know it, you'll feel it. You'll hear the little whispers, you'll see the faces of the other followers begin to change. You start getting odd questions from people you know don't think for themselves. It means you have a mutineer in your midst. He or she is trying to poison the group against you. Your followers will give them up, trust me. All you have to do is ask the right one. The right person usually keeps to themselves and rarely looks up. They're naturally afraid of just about everything, including you. He or she will tell you everything, and then you must choose. You must choose if you are going to save this group from the center. You're going to try and share power with them. This usually happens when you as a leader are unsure of your vision, which is probably why the dissenter was able to take root in the first place. Or you're going to battle the dissenter. This can backfire on you and leave you leading yourself. To answer your throbbing question, I suffered none of these things. My group was, for the most part, a democracy that I guess you could say I was the president of. When the dissenter arose among us, he challenged me straight out, after the whispers, of course. His plans were foolish, his ideas ill-conceived. He wanted to be the leader simply because he didn't want to follow. I offered him the chance to leave if he wanted. He'd start his own group. He could take as many people with him as he wanted that wanted to follow him naturally. When no one offered to go with him, he got back in line. Until he started running his fucking mouth in the streets. You see, you cannot assume that a new stranger is actually in need of help. They might be one of them. Here's my survival tactic for moving. I call it the 4 wins. What you'll need: 4 willing and brave volunteers, no cowards. No one who runs when it gets tough. This is essential. 8 bungee cords. 4 shotguns with shoulder straps, can be substituted with 2 shotguns and 2 sniper high-powered rifles. If you have people who have good enough aim, I choose shotguns because of the sheer lack of need to be precise. 8 pistols with holsters, 1 ice chest, 4 backpacks, 4 walkie-talkies if you have batteries, and 1 shitload of ammo. This method has never failed me. I've gone on my own hunting parties and have never failed to return. This may be an actual tactic somewhere in some handbook, but I have never read it. It's my own recipe. You give everyone a backpack, empty. You're going to be gathering on this gathering raid, right? If not, wouldn't it be nice to have something to hold shit in if you find something? Check the batteries and give everyone a walkie-talkie, if indeed you do have batteries and or walkie-talkies, of course. The best ones are the headset kind, if you can find them, as this leaves your hands free. You are the leader. You are north. You designate everyone a direction, west, east, and south. Learn your directions. Fill the ice chest with lots of ammo. Lots and lots of ammo. And some snacks if you're going to be gone for a long time. Each person gets 2 pistols. Holster up, make sure they're tight, make sure they're loaded, and the safety is off. Next step is to give everyone a shotgun or a rifle. Again, load and check safety, strap them on your backs. They are for close quarter situations, not long range fightings. Shotguns, that is. Next, set the ice chest on the floor and have your group surround the ice chest, one person per side, backs to the ice chest. Use the bungee cord per person to attach one hook to the rear center belt loop and the other end to the ice chest. Cut 2 holes in the ice chest if the ice chest doesn't actually have 4 handles. It doesn't really matter, you're not carrying any liquid in it. For a leader, you sure don't think outside of the box, do ya? Maybe you ought to shut up and sit down. There's no rules anymore. Okay, so at this point, all that should be left is to attach yourself to the floating ice chest. Now that that is done, hand a bungee to everyone. Everyone attaches a bungee from their right belt loop to the person on their right's left belt loop. Got it? You should now be attached to each other and to the chest. So now, if one of you should fall, all of you can drag him or her to safety easily by simply walking to safety. Start with your pistols drawn, at least one for each person. Walk with intention and purpose, but do not rush or run. Walk as if you have no fear, but watch as if you could die any second. You are the North, Mr. and Mrs. Leader. Therefore, you walk forward. East and West walk sideways. South walks backwards. Got it? You are the 4 winds. If someone sees something, they call out their direction and time and high, middle, or low, i.e. south, 12 o'clock high, means behind, straight up. You should try this several times before actually leaving. Safety in the field is not the place to find out. Your best friend can only tell time on a digital clock. Now when it comes to time to reload, announce it to your companions. Everyone takes a knee and covers the one that needs to reload. You should have plenty of ammo on your person, but when that runs out, you have your ice chest. You could even put some spare weapons in there if you have them and or you think you'll need them. Weapons do jam. As far as your own personal tactics to fighting, that's completely up to you. I can't tell you how to do anything more because each encounter will be different. What you have to pray for is that you never need to fire a single shot. But at least following this tactic, you will know what direction the enemy is coming from, and you don't have to worry about watching everything because you have the other people watching your blind spots. And that is the 4 winds technique. I hope it works for you. But feel free to adopt it to your personal needs. Above all, do what works for you. This is a matter of survival. I almost forgot. Get to a store and pick up a fanny pack for everyone in your group. Yes, fanny packs. You choose whatever color, doesn't matter. Fill each fanny pack with gauze, tape, antiseptic, thread, needles, small scissors, bandages of as many types as you can find and fit. Rubbing alcohol, hand sanitizer, rubber gloves, aspirin, and whatever medical supplies will fit in that pack. Hospitals make great places for these supplies. They only want the drugs, and not the drugs you're going to need, like antibiotics. The name brands are gone. By name brands, I mean morphine, Xanax, Demerol, etc. However, I did find a few bottles of liquid Lortab at the local drugstore, and I'm not sharing. So look for lesser known Norco, hydrocodone, Tussinex, and like cyclobenzaprine if you need to relax and get a lot of sleep. Maybe some lorazepam if you need to mellow out a bit. And for truly medicinal purposes, pick up some cold meds, some regular painkillers and herbal meds like vitamins, golden seal echinacea. These will keep your system clean. Remember, this is not a video game. This is real. Your life is at stake. And this is the closest thing to a med kit that you're going to get. Pray that you don't need it, but have it in case you do. Another hint, get what you need and get safe. You may want to stop and eat right there as soon as you find food, but remember, there are other people out there trying to eat too, not to mention these de-evolving monsters. What you're eating may well be their stockpile, so gather, little squirrel, then return to your nest. I gotta crash for the night. I'll write more tomorrow. Why am I writing that? It's not like you know when I wrote this. I mean, if I stop now and don't write the next sentence for 5 days, would you really know the difference? Anyways, I'll write more tomorrow. I hope what you've read so far has helped. Good night.